Greetings fellow cultivators. Welcome to Auto Nova. Remember to like and subscribe to support the journey. Today, we're diving into the story of what's the point of cultivating immortality if you don't have money. Accompanying a sharp, ear-piercing sound of air friction that echoed through the arena, Xiong Yu's palm was raised high, upon which a flying sword was spinning rapidly, like a helicopter propeller. I choose you. Rasengan Shuriken. In the next moment, he unleashed his magical power, and the spinning flying sword, like a huge disc, swept from low to high, towards the signal plates in mid-air one by one. Ascetic. When Han Xingyu's attention focused on the expanded information above Xiong Yu's head, he saw another long string of words. Ascetic sports talent student, extremely impoverished population of Songyang City, lone slave card slave. After seeing the string of evaluations above Xiong Yu's head, through the heavenly eye talisman, Han Xingye was shocked for the second time today. Songyang High School again? Where did they recruit all this talent this year? The previous ascetic and sports talent student were easy to understand, simply meaning he cultivated diligently and was excellent in sports. The latter three evaluations were also easy to understand, summarizing to just two words: poor. And the final three question marks were what shocked Han Xingye. Question marks. Is it a concealment talisman? A disguise talisman? With the heavenly eye talisman capable of checking backgrounds, there were naturally countermeasures, such as concealment talismans and disguise talismans. But firstly, how could such a poor person afford talismans? Secondly, Han Xingye had never seen anyone use a concealment, or disguise, talisman, and deliberately create this effect. Wasn't that blatantly telling others that they were hiding something? These three question marks are so arrogant. Arrogant and poor, two words that shouldn't be together, but at this moment, Han Xingye felt them both from above Xiong Yu's head. So he became curious about Xiong Yu's performance. Then he saw the flying sword spinning, rising into the sky like a disc. Han Xingye's eyes narrowed, watching the high-speed rotating flying sword bring up gusts of air, sweeping across the signal plates, flying in mid-air like a round moon, and a look of astonishment appeared on his face. Then he smiled. Hee. It's indeed easier to hit the signal plates this way. The disc shape can easily sweep all the signal plates with a few swipes, which can compensate for the lack of experience in operating the flying sword. 80 points. Han Xingye, who saw this score, was nodding slightly, and then he saw many students making dissatisfied noises, complaining that Xiong Yu was cheating and violating the rules. Han Xingye glanced over. Insignificant, rare, insignificant, insignificant. Insignificant, 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 rare. Insignificant, insignificant, rare, insignificant. Looking at the dissatisfied students, Han Xingye curled his lips and thought to himself, a bunch of fools. To make the flying sword spin like this and maintain control without it flying out of control and crashing around requires incredibly precise control of magical power. The design of this magical power flying sword is originally for a straight path. To make it spin like this, you must constantly change the rhythm of magical power input every moment. This guy is using his powerful control of magical power to make up for his lack of experience in operating the flying sword. 80 points is not high, but rather low. The judges probably considered the relationship with the sponsoring manufacturers and didn't encourage doing this. Han Xingye glanced at Xian High School and Hongta High School. Sure enough, none of the students from the three famous schools came out to object. Obviously, they could all see the difficulty involved. In the subsequent competition, some people began to try Xiong Yu's method, but they all failed, throwing the flying sword away. Fortunately, the referees were always watching and taking care, so no casualties were caused. At this time, the many students who had originally objected gradually realized that Xiong Yu's operation of rotating the flying sword was by no means simple. On the way back, Xiong Yu was sighing in his heart, this flying sword still doesn't quite support me operating it like this. Obviously, my magical power can still speed up the rhythm, but the frequency of the sword sheath receiving commands has reached its limit, otherwise the score should be higher. Obviously, such a high-speed rotation operation had not reached the limit of magical power control that Xiong Yu had trained through the 10th level of the Joshin key gathering method, but it had reached the design limit of the flying sword itself. After all, this flying sword was not originally designed to be used in this direction. As soon as Zhang Yu returned to the rest area of Songyang High School, he immediately received praise from teacher Yan. Zhang Yu, you did a great job. Using magical power control to make up for the lack of flying sword operation, these 80 points are too low. As for the complaints from those trash students from ordinary high schools, just ignore them, don't take them to heart. Teacher Yan thought about Zhang Yu's score and was secretly delighted. If he can encounter projects that are more suitable for Zhang Yu to perform in the next 2 levels, he might be able to squeeze into the top 10. Only the top 10 in the total score of the magic competition have bonuses, real rankings, and can be useful in college interviews. High schools will pay much more attention to this. As soon as she thought that if Zhang Yu could really squeeze into the top 10, her year-end bonus would definitely increase, teacher Yan's mood immediately became cheerful. She casually pointed to the student with the worst score this time, and said, "By Zhenjin, go get a bottle of water for Zhang Yu. Zhang Yu, don't be nervous in the next 2 levels, just do it according to your normal level." Bai Zhenjin's eyes widened suddenly, and she glanced at Zhang Yu, who was secretly laughing beside her. She could only helplessly stand up and run to the organizer to get water. "Wait, Zhenjin, let me take a photo. Are you trying to die, Zhang Yu?" Slamming the water bottle at Zhang Yu's head, Bai Zhenjin sat down sulkily, thinking in her heart, damn it, I knew I should have left before the competition started. What the hell is this magic competition? It's all a game for the rich. Yuzi, you better get into the top 10, otherwise I. Not far away, Dai looked at Zhang Yu's score and a hint of surprise flashed in his heart. His magical power control is so powerful. Fortunately, he's a poor ghost. Soon after, the first competition ended completely, and the host appeared again, smiling and saying, "Good medicine, choose Xian, wholehearted, and all-age Xian medicine, 1 sip, and all diseases disappear. Thank you Xian Company for co-sponsoring this magic competition. Next, all the first aid medicines for the second level will be sponsored by Xian Company." As he spoke, the host began to announce the rules of the second competition. This level tests the ability to resolve special magical power. The specific process is to have the judges inject a special magical power, while the contestants have detection patches attached to their bodies, and see how long it takes for the contestants to resolve it. The shorter the time, the higher the score, naturally. If it exceeds 10 minutes, or if the contestant feels that they cannot bear it, they can immediately take the magic elimination pill sponsored by Xian Company, to eliminate the special magical power in their body. In addition, Xian Company has set up temporary medicine stalls all around, selling various medicines that the contestants need. The reason why Xian Company sells medicine here is only because there is another rule in this second level. This level allows taking medicine. Zhang Yu was shocked. Damn it. Are you guys still human? To earn Xian Company's sponsorship fee, you're encouraging drug use in the competition? At the same time, Zhang Yu saw the students of Songyang High School, beside him, taking things out one after another. Painkillers, tranquilizers, focus agents. Looking at the 3-piece set they took out, Zhang Yu suddenly realized that these guys were also prepared. Teacher Yan on the side asked with concern, "Zhang Yu, did you bring medicine? The latest novel is first published on 6-9 Book Bar. Remember to take it before the start later." Taking medicine in the competition. This seems perfectly normal to teacher Yan. Afraid of pain and itching, chew a painkiller. Weak will, drink a tranquilizer. Afraid of distraction during exercise, take a bottle of focus agent. In short, to be energetic and fierce on the field, you must not stop taking medicine off the field. This is the competition. The competition is about taking medicine. The magic competition has always been one of the projects that drug manufacturers love to sponsor, so usually at least 1 level will allow contestants to take medicine, as long as the medicine taken is within the range of medicines listed by the organizers. This is also what all the referees and soul cultivator assistants will supervise and check later. So taking medicine is part of the competition, and even shows the background of a high school. Seeing Zhang Yu's confused look, teacher Yan helplessly opened her bag. "Look at you, participating in the competition without even preparing medicine. Fortunately, I brought a spare copy." Saying that, teacher Yan had already taken out various bottles and jars from her bag, poured a few portions, and sent them to Zhang Yu. Looking at teacher Yan's loving and concerned eyes, Zhang Yu helplessly took all the medicine. "Damn! Can my body take medicine?" The original Zhang Yu ruined his body by taking medicine, and this memory scared Zhang Yu so much that he never dared to take medicine indiscriminately, at most eating some nerve fillers to reduce sleep. In addition, he himself has amazing talent and is heavily in debt, so he has never planned to take medicine indiscriminately. Although he doesn't know if there will be a problem with his current body taking medicine indiscriminately, he doesn't plan to take the risk anyway. I'm afraid that the lifespan I'll gain from cultivating immortality won't be enough to offset the cost of taking these medicines for a competition. But at this moment, feeling teacher Yan's concerned gaze, he could only nod awkwardly, thinking in his heart, I'll go to the toilet and pretend to eat it later. At the same time, the entire venue has become a drug display conference. In the Xian High School rest area, Bian Tianji fiercely swallowed a large handful of medicine, then drank a large gulp of water, swallowing all the medicine in his mouth into his stomach. The competition coach on the side looked at his gradually reddening and purpling face and nodded. Good, you have already entered the competition state. After saying that, he took out a wooden box from his bag. Along with the wooden box opening, a total of 10 syringes emitting a faint purple light appeared in front of everyone. The competition coach said this is the pulse expansion injection brought from the Xian laboratory, which can temporarily widen your meridians with blood circulation and speed up your exercise efficiency later. 1 needle per person, don't snatch. After watching the students get their injections one by one, he encouraged everyone must hold on to the end later. Our total score is not much different from Beilong High School. We must catch up in this game. Roar. The people who had just finished taking medicine and getting injections felt infinite fighting spirit in their hearts and let out a roar, deafening. Hongta High School's rest area. The competition coach was holding a small panda-like demon hybrid student, taking a few handfuls from the veterinary medicine on the side. Bufan, take another handful, we are now at the bottom of the 3 famous schools. If it's still like this in the second level, my bonus this year will be gone. The little panda, Zhang Bufan, stretched out his paw to him and gave him the middle finger. Enough. Don't feed me. Ugh. You. Don't feed me. On the other side, inside the Beilong High School rest area, Song Hailong grabbed a large handful of medicine and swallowed it, then looked at the Xian High School rest area in the distance. Listening to the roar from Xian High School, he snorted coldly, I will crush all your fighting spirit later. At the same time, competition coach Han Xingye came over with a thermos box and said to everyone, this is the Kangling needle specially prepared for you by the school. Inject it into your dantian later, come and get it quickly. Along with the thermos box opening, a burst of cold air came over, and then 2 rows of fluorescent needles were revealed. Song Hailong grinned, and he, who was printed with the number 1 on his school uniform, was also the first to pick up a needle. The other students around also took out the needles from the thermos box, in the order of the numbers on their chests, and then injected them into their dantian positions. The other school's students on the side looked at this scene with envy. Is it the Kangling needle? It concentrates the essence of spiritual energy and can quickly restore the magical power in the body. Are they preparing to replenish magical power while resolving magical power in the upcoming competition? More students were full of jealousy. 1 needle of Kangling enters the dantian. My fate is up to me, not the heavens, alas. I don't know if I can afford Kangling needles in my life. Just then, a commotion came from a corner of the arena. A student foaming at the mouth and convulsing was carried out, causing a burst of discussion. Some students sighed overdosed. Some teachers sneered, there is no such thing as overdosing, only insufficient drug resistance, you still have to practice. Some teachers clapped their hands and urged, don't mind other people's business, concentrate on the competition. As everyone's preparations gradually completed, the second competition officially began. One by one, detection patches were placed on the students' arms. Immediately afterward, a judge gently pointed at the student's arm, slowly injecting a special type of mana into it. At the same time, on the panel of the detection patch, numbers jumped continuously with the injection of mana, from 0.5 to 1.3, then to 2.4, finally stopping at 5. This meant the judge had injected a total of 5 units of special mana into the student's arm. During this injection process, the judge was also very careful, afraid of making a mistake and accidentally killing the student. Even if it was a student from an ordinary high school, injuring or killing them would require compensation, with the price varying depending on the student's breed. If it was a student with a contract, one who already belonged to someone, the compensation would be even more expensive. After all, there had been news of a Foundation establishment expert's battle aftermath accidentally killing a passerby, only to discover they were more than a dozen talented senior high school students who had been heavily invested in, resulting in the expert being bankrupted by calculating the cultivation fees, food expenses, tuition fees, tutoring fees, sterilization fees, all the way down the line. During those few seconds of mana injection, the student's body suddenly tensed, and their breathing became heavier, clearly showing that their body was already affected by the special mana. Even if no one actively urged this special mana to attack, just its continued presence within the body would cause some damage. Fortunately, the student had taken painkillers, so although they felt uncomfortable, it wasn't unbearable. As the injected mana reached 5, the panel on the detection patch also began to time, recording the time it would take for the student to resolve this special mana. The shorter the time, the higher the score. Because each student was injected with special mana for a different amount of time, they naturally couldn't be ranked in order of who went first. Instead, it would be based on their recorded time. After stopping the mana injection, the judge took a capsule from the assistant next to him. He opened his mouth and swallowed the capsule, then smiled at the camera in front of him, and said, "To replenish mana, choose Xian. After taking this Xian spirit gathering capsule, my mana is quickly replenished, and I can inject 50 more students without any problems." And so, as the competition began, several judges injected special mana into the students' hands one after another. More and more participating students began to close their eyes and circulate their energy, wholeheartedly resolving the special mana that had invaded their bodies. The entire venue became quieter and quieter, gradually leaving only the sound of breathing and exhalation. Ever since that wisp of special mana had been injected by the judge, Xiong Yu felt like there was a fire burning on his right arm, and as the mana continued to be injected, it became more and more intense, more and more scorching. The intense stinging sensation constantly transmitted from his arm to his brain, also allowing Xiong Yu to understand why so many contestants had taken painkillers. For example, at this moment, he was in so much pain that he wanted to punch the old geezer judge in front of him, who was still injecting special mana into him. Damn it, no wonder I saw someone selling insurance just now. This competition is too easy to get injured in. Quickly circulating the desolate bull soul suppression heart sutra, Xiong Yu felt the unbearable pain gradually weaken. Then, he mobilized the mana in his dantian and surged towards his right arm. It's an injection of heat-type special mana. Then I need to use cold-type mana to counteract it. Xiong Yu recalled the mana conversion routes taught by teacher Yan, circulating the mana in his dantian and transforming it into a stream of low-temperature mana that surged towards his right arm. Wherever this low-temperature mana passed, a cool sensation came from within his body, as if a bucket of ice water had been poured on him. When Xiong Yu's low-temperature mana collided with the invading heat mana, he could feel the burning sensation in his arm begin to cool down. But his low-temperature mana was also rapidly consumed in this process, like using a bucket of water to put out a fire. Although the fire was reduced, the water was also gone. Xiong Yu could only try his best to convert more mana to extinguish the fire. Fortunately, he had the whole body mana circulation of the Jutian Qi gathering technique to constantly restore his mana, the desolate bull soul suppression heart sutra to stabilize his spirit, and powerful mana control to constantly convert low temperature mana. Not long ago, just before the judges arrived at Songyang High School, in the Beilong High School competition area, Han Xingye glanced at Song Hailong, who was resolving the special mana in his body, and looked at the large screen in front, thinking to himself, it should be soon, right? Within Song Hailong's body, his mana was like a great river, endlessly surging towards the scorching mana in his right arm. The Kangling needle continuously restored his mana, and coupled with his own astonishing amount of mana, allowed him to circulate his mana recklessly, even enveloping the entire mass of scorching mana, intending to extinguish it in one breath. The various pains during the mana resolution process were also suppressed by drugs to the point of being almost non-existent, allowing Song Hailong to hardly feel any abnormalities. He only needed to consider what he had to do. With my amount of mana and control over mana, who can be faster than me in this round? Just then, a cry for help rang out in the arena. A student groaned and fell to the ground. People immediately rushed up to feed him a mana dissipation pill. It's okay, he just ran out of mana. He's already been given a mana dissipation pill. Soon after, another student screamed, spitting out a mouthful of blood and falling down. This was because they hadn't operated well when resolving the mana, scattering the special mana throughout their body, causing internal injuries. Han Xingye glanced in the direction of the fallen student. Insignificant, insignificant, insignificant. He knew that more and more students from ordinary high schools would probably be unable to hold on, either because they lacked mana, or because they lacked mana control, or because the quality of the medicine was too poor, and would be eliminated one by one. He didn't care about this. Do you think you can narrow the gap by taking medicine together? Everyone takes medicine, the gap between ordinary high schools and the three famous schools will only become bigger. Just as he was thinking this, the large screen in front suddenly flashed, and a name appeared. Beilong High School, Songhailong, 129. Seeing this, Han Xingye smiled slightly. Oh, faster than in school. It seems the atmosphere here makes him more excited. Then one name after another began to appear on the big screen, quickly filling 10 lines. This big screen only shows the top 10 names. Next, the lines of names on it changed back and forth, with the students ranked from 2nd to 10th constantly changing, but only Song Hailong's name always stood at the top, as if suppressing all the students on the scene with his own strength. But soon more and more names began to stabilize, and the 2nd to 10th lines gradually stopped changing. Everyone looked at the unchanging 10 names on it in shock, and soon a student discovered an obvious fact: these 10 people are all students from Beilong High School. Although Beilong High School was not the first batch of contestants to be injected with mana, after Song Hailong took the lead in reaching the top, they also resolved the special mana in their bodies one after another, according to their respective completion times, directly dominating the top 10. Teacher Yan looked at the 10 motionless names on the big screen, feeling like a mountain was blocking Songyang High School's path. Alas, the three famous schools. So these kinds of competitions are ultimately their territory. Just then, the students from 2nd to 9th place suddenly moved down one place in unison. A newcomer had rushed to 2nd place in one go. Red Pagoda High School, Zhang Bufan, 135. The students from Red Pagoda High School also began to resolve the special mana in their bodies. Soon after Zhang Bufan reached 2nd place, two more students from Red Pagoda High School squeezed into the top 10. Han Xingye turned to look in the direction of Red Pagoda High School, and immediately found the most conspicuous thing in the field of vision of the Heavenly Eye Talisman. Protection Zone Medicine Bucket High-Speed Mana. The evaluation of the protection zone was easy to understand. Han Xingye guessed that this monster should be from the monster descending protection zone. High-speed mana. Han Xingye was not very sure yet, but he understood the medicine bucket very well. How much medicine did they stuff this monster with? Damn it, are you secretly doing drug experiments on monsters? There must be illegal drugs in that monster's body. I really should report you. What? Our school is also doing it. And using it on people? Then forget it, forget it. Although Zhang Bufan's performance also made Red Pagoda High School stand out, after all, he did not reach the first place. At this moment, Beilong High School still occupies a dominant position on the leaderboard. But after a while, the students in the top 9 all dropped one place. As the name of Lemulan from Xian High School parachuted into the first place, it was as if a roar rang out in the air. Xian High School, Lemulan, 025. 25 seconds. More and more students exclaimed. They could hardly imagine that while they were still struggling with the strange mana in their bodies, someone could resolve it in just 25 seconds. Is this still a person? Everyone could imagine that Lemulan would definitely get a perfect score of 100 in this second round, but she was limited by this 100 points, otherwise the difference between her and others should be even greater. This was the third time Han Xingye was shocked today. He frowned, looking at the words ice muscle jade bone above Lemulan's head, thinking that her ability to resolve foreign mana so quickly must be related to her special physique. Not far away, Song Hailong did not show anger on his face. Instead, he looked in the direction of Xian High School and laughed loudly. Interesting, interesting. It seems that my biggest opponent in the next 3 years of high school will be this Lemulan. More than a minute later, the other students from Xian High School resolved the foreign mana in their bodies, one after another. In the end, Lian Tianji and another person also reached the top 10. In the end, Lemulan Song Hailong, and Zhang Bufeng each occupied the first, second, and third places. The top 10 on the list were completely divided by 4 students from Beilong High School, 3 students from Xian High School, and 3 students from Red Pagoda High School. Looking at the ranking that had not changed at all, the many high school students on the scene felt a burst of depression. This was the first time most of them had experienced the gap between themselves and the 3 famous schools. The 10 names and results on the screen were like a mountain pressing on them, showing the gap between the 3 famous schools and them, which was like a natural chasm. Just then, the ranking on the big screen changed again. The rankings from 4th to 10th place all dropped by 1 place. In the case where these 3 famous schools almost dominated the entire arena, someone actually cut in and rushed to 4th place. Songyang High School, Zhang Yu, 138. When Zhang Yu's side was found to have resolved the special mana in his body, the timer made a D sound. This soft D sound was like a boulder thrown into the heart lake of several students from Songyang High School around him. The students from the 3 famous schools also subconsciously glanced in the direction of Songyang High School, not expecting that there would be a student there with a level close to theirs. Teacher Yan looked at the ranking list and quickly took a photo with his mobile phone. These are all important teaching results. Thanks to Osmanthus and Wine for the Oscar trophy gift sent to the by Genjin character. Inside the venue, accompanied by drones, boxes of box lunches were transported in. After the first and second rounds of the magic competition, it was already lunchtime. However, many of the contestants eating box lunches were still discussing the highlights of the previous 2 matches, and occasionally looked at the score rankings on the big screen. However, the name that was originally ranked 4th had disappeared, and the top 10 were still dominated by the 3 famous schools: White Dragon High School, Xian High School, and Red Pagoda High School. This was because with the complete end of the first and second rounds, the top 10 displayed on the big screen had been replaced by the top 10 in total scores. Only those who enter the top 10 in the final total score ranking of the magic competition will receive prize money, a real ranking, and a recognized achievement by universities, which can play a role in college interviews. And that name that tore a gap in the second game and squeezed into 4th place has now disappeared like a phantom. It's like a little bird trying to break through the sky, being slapped back by the big hands transformed by the 3 famous schools. Teacher Yan sighed in her heart. Zhang Yu's score in the first flying sword competition was too low after all, dragging him down, and his total score couldn't squeeze into the top 10. But what can be done about it? The rich have an absolute advantage in flying sword manipulation. Teacher Yan can't blame Zhang Yu's family for not buying him a magic flying sword. You can only blame bad luck, running into the sponsorship of a flying sword manufacturer. On the other side, Zhang Yu looked at the boxed lunch in his hand, eating while complaining. Selling such a boxed lunch for 80. Is Red Pagoda High School trying to rob us? Just as Zhang Yu was complaining, a boxed lunch was stuffed in front of him. Zhang Yu looked up and found that it was Teacher Yan, who brought a boxed lunch over. Teacher Yan said kindly, "You've been so tired all morning, I knew you must be hungry, take this one too." Bai Zhenjin, who was next to him, secretly curled her lips. Could I be less hungry than him? Use resolve the special magic power in 1 minute and 30 seconds, but I held on for more than 8 minutes before I finished, it exhausted me. Teacher Yan looked at Zhang Yu eating 2 portions of rice, and the more she looked at him, the more satisfied she became. Such a large appetite, he must be a good student. Bai Zhenjin, Qian Shen, and He Dai next to him also have big appetites. If they don't have a chance to win in this kind of magic competition, isn't eating so much just being a rice bucket? Teacher Yan encouraged, "You performed very well this morning, just do your best this afternoon, don't have too much pressure." Although Teacher Yan couldn't wait for Zhang Yu to use 400% of his focus to fight, she knew that magic power operation should not be rushed, and the mentality should be peaceful, otherwise it may be counterproductive. So, fearing that Zhang Yu, who had won a place in the second game in the morning, would be under too much psychological pressure, she immediately came to comfort him, wanting Zhang Yu to relax as much as possible during the competition. And Teacher Yan couldn't help but calculate Zhang Yu's score in her heart. 80 points in the first level, 93 points in the second level, a total of 173 points. She looked up at the big screen, scanning from the first place with 195 points to the 10th place with 176 points. As long as Zhang Yu can catch up by 4 points in the next level, he can enter the top 10. 4 points may not seem like much, but teacher Yan knows that in high difficulty, highly competitive competitions like the magic competition, the higher the score, the harder each point is to get. Especially when a total of 30 top students from the 3 famous schools are competing for the top 10. Thinking of this 4-point difference, teacher Yan couldn't help but feel a little nervous. It depends on what the last level is about. Lunchtime ended quickly, and the final level of the magic competition in the afternoon officially began. The host came on stage and said, learn martial arts, learn Taoism, come to Xiong, 300 laboratories, 100 Kung Fu masters, focusing on immortal education for 100 years. Thank you to Xiong Education Group for sponsoring this magic competition. Xiong Group. Zhang Yu still remembers that this company belongs to the Wanfa sect, the big company where he participated in the trial work and obtained the Zhoushan key, gathering method. He also remembered seeing the Songyang city director of Xiong Group at Li Zulian's painting exhibition. After a while, a complex exercise diagram was distributed to each participating student. This is the content of the last level of this magic competition. According to the route in this exercise diagram, transform your own magic power into special magic power. At the same time, the cameras of the soul cultivators have been shining all over the venue, ready to judge the state of each contestant, and also to facilitate the recording of the order in which the contestants complete the assessment later. As the timer officially started, some students had already begun to operate their magic power, according to the route on the exercise diagram. Zhang Yu frowned slightly as he looked at the route on the exercise diagram. This thing seems to be a kind of special magic power used for combat. Although the existence of the level 10 Zhoushan key gathering method makes Zhang Yu's control over magic power very strong. However, the route on the exercise diagram in front of him is extremely different from the magic power cycle of the Zhoushan key gathering method. If the Zhoushan key gathering method is a method of internal circulation to improve oneself, then the exercise route on this diagram is a method of applying magic power externally for combat. He can feel that in terms of complexity, this exercise route is not as good as the Zhoushan key gathering method. But whether it is the exercise route or the techniques contained in it, they are very different from the Zhoushan key gathering method that Zhang Yu is familiar with. Especially a kind of oscillation and refining technique, which he has never been exposed to. This magic competition is too out of bounds. And yet, Zhang Yu looked at the feather book appearing beside him and found that there was no change. Isn't it a cultivation method? Then I can only try to practice it by force. Zhang Yu raised the magic power of his dantian and began to operate it carefully according to the exercise diagram. At the same time, at Xian High School, Liang Tianji looked at Lemulin not far away, and seeing her confident look, he thought the holy grade first place will definitely achieve good results. What I have to do is not to hold back and support our school's total score. Lemulin looked at the exercise diagram in front of her and suddenly tilted her head. I seem to have seen a similar question before. Let me think. This is the body protecting key of martial arts Kung Fu, right? She operated the magic power in her body, and sure enough, she began to transform strands of magic power towards the special magic power on the exercise diagram in a familiar way. Body protecting key, transformed from magic power, is considered to belong to the martial arts system of special magic power in the immortal system, established by the top 10 sects. Lemulin remembers that to transform magic power into body protecting key, the step of magic power oscillation is needed, and the more powerful the quality of body protecting key, the more oscillations are needed. Each magic power oscillation will make the quality of the key transformed by magic power higher, but it is also more difficult to control. According to the instructions in this diagram, it should be 7 magic power oscillations, and then operate according to the route. Suddenly, her brow furrowed slightly. Listening to the various muffled groans and painful cries coming from not far away, she felt a kind of noise. These were some students who were injured when resolving magic power in the previous game, and now their injuries have not healed, and the start of the exercise has affected the injuries. These students from ordinary high schools, can't they eat some good wound medicine? Even if they can't afford good wound medicine, can't they even afford better quality painkillers? Thinking of this, Lemulin suddenly realized that these poor people from ordinary high schools may really not be able to afford expensive painkillers. This is the sound of poverty. It's affecting my exam. But Lemulin knows that the power of money can isolate the sound of poverty. She stretched out her hand and put on a pair of soundproof earmuffs worth tens of thousands. Feeling the finally quiet environment, a smile appeared on the corner of her mouth, and she continued to start the magic power transformation. On the other side, in White Dragon High School, while Song Hailong stared at the exercise diagram in his hand, the magic power of his whole body was already operating naturally, as if naturally moving with his thoughts, gradually moving towards the instructions of the exercise diagram. Practicing magic power operation with the heavenly spiritual root for a long time makes him so handy in manipulating magic power after taking off the heavenly spiritual root. And he had practiced many similar questions in front of him, which made his movements more skilled and faster. Boom. A group of magic power in the Dantian suddenly scattered into a group in the strong oscillation, and then was slowly restrained by Song Hailong. The first magic power oscillation completed. Simple. 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 Too simple. My parents have the best genes after thousands of choices. I started not sleeping at the age of 5. So far at the age of 18, every year is the best performance, the highest score, and the strongest physique among Song's peers. I am also the only one among my peers who has not committed suicide, has not been tired of learning, and has not been depressed. I am Song's trump card son. You waste in this arena, what do you rely on to fight with me? At this moment, he is wholeheartedly, without any distractions, just wanting to practice the method in the picture, as soon as possible, and trample all the top students of the other to famous schools under his feet. At the same time, Zhang Bufan of Red Pagoda High School was lying in front of the exercise diagram, his eyes closed tightly, and his furry tail trembled, as if he had already exercised to a critical moment. The competition coach next to him looked at this scene, and thought, when Bufan and his group were in the breeding base, they started taking medicine from the womb, and before entering high school, his physique was the most excellent. When the school picked him up from the breeding base in the reserve, the strength of the meridians in his body was more than 10 times that of ordinary students, so you don't have to worry about getting hurt no matter how you toss the exercise. Since entering school, I have been letting him exercise the speed of magic power operation. He has also done many times of body protecting ki practice. This time, he will definitely be the first to practice this exercise diagram. Well, as expected, the principal should domesticate more monsters. Wrong. Is to plan more demon students. How can one be enough? I think it's okay to get for more in the competition team. Those leaders who insist on the pure human team are still too conservative. I heard that the neighboring city already has a pure monster, pure demon team. Zhang Yu had to admit that without relevant training, and without prior preparation, it seemed that it was already difficult to win a place in this level. Competition is not only a competition of talent and quality, but also a competition of financial resources, power, and background. Damn it. Is my competition road coming to an end? Zhang Yu, are you going to lose to money? Not far away, Teacher Yan looked at Zhang Yu's troubled appearance and sighed in her heart. Then she glanced at the other Songyang High School students around, watching them either sweating profusely, or pale, or looking like they were in a hurry to poop. Teacher Yan shook her head helplessly. The students of Songyang High School are not as good as the top students of the 3 famous schools, and after failing to achieve competition results in the magic competition for a long time, the school simply stopped investing in this area. Without the school's investment, the competition results of the magic competition became worse and worse, and the school naturally did not want to invest more, which is a vicious circle. And Teacher Yan understood that without the school's strong support and lack of relevant teaching and practice, the two sides were not on the same starting line. At this moment, a student suddenly raised his hand. I want to go to the toilet. Teacher Yan cursed in her heart, so you really want to poop? Go quickly. Just then, Teacher Yan suddenly heard the sound of muscles and bones ringing next to her. She turned her head and found that it was Bai Zhenjin, who was boxing. Has she given up on herself? This is a competition to operate magic power. What are you doing boxing for? Zhang Yu was also attracted by the sound of boxing, took a look inside and his heart, alas, a Zhen has been driven crazy. Huh. Suddenly, Zhang Yu felt that the boxing that Bai Zhenjin was doing was a bit inexplicably familiar, as if it could be combined with something. This set of martial arts is very simple, back and forth, only 6 moves. After watching it quickly, he suddenly reacted. This set of martial arts seems to be able to cooperate with the exercise diagram. Looking at the level 0 Wuji cloud hand appearing on the feather book, Jiang Yu couldn't wait to pick up Bai Zhenjin and turn her around. Zhen, you are a saint. The savior of Songyang High School. The exercise diagram is the method of magic power operation, and what Bai Zhenjin is doing is external gong moves. The combination of the two is the complete combat martial art Wuji cloud hand. This is an advanced level martial arts gong fu. It's just that this gong fu emphasizes internal gong, and da emphasizes external moves. The key lies in the application of magic power, and how to transform magic power into body protecting ki. The 6 external gong moves are more like application examples than moves. This time, the magic competition took out the exercise diagram alone, as a test question. For ordinary people, whether or not there are external gong moves does not affect their learning of the transformation method of body protecting ki. But for Jiang Yu, whether it is a complete gong fu and whether it can be on the feather book, that is a world of difference. Jiang Yu doesn't know how Bai Zhenjin realized the external gong moves. He can only seize the time now, immediately switch the feather book's specialization to Wuji Cloud Hand, and then start practicing. Wuji Cloud Hand level 0. Once. As long as he practices it once. Even if it is full of mistakes, even if it is practiced in a mess, he can completely practice this Wuji Cloud Hand. Listening to Audio Nova. The magic competition venue. In the area where Xian High School was located, La Mulin's forehead was covered in dense beads of sweat. At this moment, she had already completed the 4th mana oscillation. The massive mana that had been repeatedly needed seemed to have turned into a cloud of white mist, floating and sinking in her dantian, drifting, and becoming increasingly difficult to control. 3 more times, just 3 more times, and I'll succeed. Song Hailong's breathing grew heavier and heavier. A vast amount of mana, like layers upon layers of white clouds, rose from his dantian, gradually transforming into a vortex. The final mana oscillation. As expected, the ultimate winner is still me. Boom. Boom. A burst of roaring sound suddenly came from the distance. Song Hailong's expression suddenly changed. Someone actually succeeded one step ahead of him. No, he quickly realized something, a look of surprise on his face. It's 2 people, there are actually 2 people faster than me. In the distance, Zhong Bufan pressed his palms together, wisps of white cloud-like mana surged from his claws, forming a ball, making him look as if he was grabbing a lively cloud, but this cloud quickly began to dissipate, obviously difficult to sustain. But he didn't look at these, but turned his head to look at the other side, the direction from which the roar came. Only 1 step slower than me. From White Dragon High School, or Xian High School? Zhong Bufan looked at the white energy that soared into the sky and condensed like a cloud pillar, a look of surprise on his face. What's going on? It's just a competition. The competition is about speed. Everyone is seeking speed. Why did he practice this protective aura so well? This is too much of a show-off. In the competition venue of Songyang High School, Jiang Yu spread his palms. Streams of white air surged wildly from his palms, drifting straight towards the top of his head, like white smoke rising into the sky, instantly attracting the attention of more and more people. After Jiang Yu used the fastest speed to hastily practice the Wuji Cloud Hand once, and of course failed to transform any aura, he felt that he had mastered this technique. With a thought, the key followed his heart, and streams of mana completed 7 oscillations in a row, turning into vigorous aura that spewed out from his palms, eventually forming the scene before him. Looking at this scene, Teacher Yan also clenched his fist excitedly and then quickly took out his mobile phone and took a series of photos in Jiang Yu's direction. Teacher Yan thought to himself, Jiang Yu's talent for controlling mana is so amazing. It seems that the content of the previous mana exam did not reflect this at all. Recalling Jiang Yu's mana improvement during this period, she sighed inwardly that it was probably Jiang Yu's improvement in this area that greatly improved the efficiency of breathing exercises. Bai Zhenjin also showed a look of emotion as she watched this scene, feeling relieved and comforted. The child has grown up. And after a while, the results of the 3rd round of the magic competition also appeared one after another. Zhong Bufan from Red Pagoda High School ranked 1st. Jiang Yu from Songyang High School ranked 2nd. Song Hailong followed closely behind, becoming the 3rd place. La Mulin from Xian High School was squeezed into 4th place. And as the third round gradually came to an end, the total scores of each student's magic competition also came out one after another. Many students looked at the final total score ranking, with different expressions. First place, White Dragon High School, Xiong Hailong, total score 290. Second place, Xian High School, Lemulin, total score 287. Third place, Red Pagoda High School, Zhongbufan, total score 285. The three famous schools still occupied the top three total score rankings and also opened up a huge gap with all the players behind. But at this moment, at least the eyes of the vast majority of students in the field were not looking at the top three, but focused on the fourth place. Fourth place, Songyang High School, Zhangyu, total score 273. Although Songyang High School is also a key high school, appearing in the top 10 at this moment, appearing under the encirclement of the names of the three famous schools, it felt so abrupt. It was as if a gap was forcibly torn open in the originally airtight dark clouds. Fourth place, how much is the bonus? Zhang Yu looked at the final ranking, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but curl up, and he was already thinking about how much the bonus for the fourth place in this magic competition was. He was already very satisfied with this ranking. After all, although he was confident that he would definitely surpass these opponents in the future. But when it comes to the real strength at this moment, he is indeed temporarily not as good as the top students of the three famous schools. He still needs more time to develop. He had to sigh that it was Zhen's manifestation, coupled with Yushu's filial piety, and of course, most importantly, his own perseverance that he was able to squeeze into fourth place this time. Qian Shen stared at Zhang Yu. He still clearly remembered that Zhang Yu's monthly exam score was clearly 620 points, clearly 6 points lower than him. But such a 620-point existence, actually, ranked together with the high-ranking existences, high castes, and ultimate monsters of the three high schools with more than 650 points in the magic competition. It's like this again. It was like this at the art exhibition last time. This Zhang Yu can always make performances that exceed his score's due ability. He held his head, his eyes still full of disbelief. It's almost as if the evaluation system of 700 points in 6 subjects can no longer perfectly express his degree of evolution. This man Qian Shen stared at Zhang Yu, and a thought that he also found unexpected suddenly surged in his heart. This man who cannot be perfectly expressed by scores, he may cause another reform of the high school score system in the future, making this evaluation system more perfect. At this time, He Dio, who was next to him, glanced at Qian Shen, who was holding his head and muttering to himself, and thought to himself, what's wrong with this idiot again? He turned his head, and the emotions in his eyes looking at Zhang Yu were difficult to suppress. Envy, jealousy. It is impossible to say that there are no such emotions, especially when everything in front of him happened to the poor man he looked down on the most. Thinking of this, He Dio even felt a trace of regret in his heart. He is just a poor ghost after all. It's good that he is just a poor ghost. Inside the rest area of Xian High School, the competition coach looked at Lemulin, Lian Tianji and others in front of him, and suddenly said, what do you think about us getting that Zhang Yu over here? Obviously, this coach saw Zhang Yu's performance and wanted to naturalize Zhang Yu. Lian Tianji said to the side, although Zhang Yu does not have the bloodline of our Xian High School, he does perform excellently, and I also think it would be good to pull him over. The so-called no bloodline is a chain of contempt that is popular within Xian High School. It generally refers to the origins of Xian Nursery, Xian Kindergarten, Xian Elementary School, and Xian Junior High School. Among them, from left to right, each additional Xian education is considered to have a pure bloodline. Lemulin asked where did he get his first and second degrees. I really asked him about this. Lian Tianji said about Zhang Yu's previous elementary school and junior high school. A trace of uncontrollable disgust immediately appeared on Lemulin's face. The poor taste of these two schools was too strong. Seeing the change in Lemulin's expression, Lian Tianji knew that it was hopeless and thought to himself, then the next time I meet Zhang Yu, it is estimated that it will be in the martial arts competition to compete. Thinking of this, a trace of expectation also emerged in his heart. The most new small set in 6-9 book bar first hair. Thinking of this, a trace of expectation also emerged in his heart. In front of the toilet. As soon as Zhang Yu came out, he was stopped by a man. The person who came was Han Xingye, the competition coach of White Dragon High School. Zhang Yu, come to White Dragon High School. Han Xingye stretched out his hand to Zhang Yu. With your talent, it's a pity to stay in Songyang. Although you performed well in this competition, you will only get further and further away from us in the future. Han Xingye was telling the truth. Although most of the best students in Songyang City will be divided up by the three famous schools, over time there will always be some left in other key high schools, or even ordinary high schools. Han Xingye has also seen a few students from other high schools who performed outstandingly in the mana competition in the first year of high school. But he has never seen students from other high schools who performed outstandingly in the mana competition in the second and third years of high school. If you come to White Dragon High School, I will definitely help you apply for a contract with good enough conditions. Zhang Yu suddenly asked, if I go to White Dragon High School, can I get into the top 10? Han Xingye was slightly stunned, as if he didn't expect Zhang Yu to ask such a question, and was immediately stumped. The real answer is naturally no. Zhang Yu will only become an investment project of White Dragon High School when he arrives at White Dragon High School. Not to mention the top 10. Digging Zhang Yu over is just to prevent him from participating in the remaining other competitions in the first year of high school. After all, these achievements related to the college entrance examination results and university interviews are gold-plating projects for the rich and should not be occupied by the poor. As for the university, he will definitely be able to get into a good university in the future, but it will never be the top 10. After all, the conditions of White Dragon High School must be better than those of Songyang High School, and Zhang Yu can also get better development here. It's just that the places for the top 10 are never prepared for the poor. At this moment, Teacher Yan walked over, stood in front of Zhang Yu, and looked at Han Xingye with a wary expression. Teacher Han, what are you talking to my student about? Regardless of whether Zhang Yu is rich or not, to Teacher Yan, as long as he can get a ranking, that is her teaching achievement. Han Xingye smiled helplessly. Everyone takes students to participate in the competition every year, and he and this teacher Yan can be considered acquaintances. He was a little embarrassed to be caught stealing the other party's student at this moment, and immediately said to Zhang Yu, in any case, it's better than you continuing to stay in Songyang High School, that, right? Teacher Yan was furious when he heard this. What, that? Don't think that I can't guess those insulting words you used to describe Songyang High School, just because you didn't say them. However, thinking of the gap between her own school and White Dragon High School, Teacher Yan was really afraid that the other party would continue to say something that she couldn't refute, so she had to interrupt. Okay, if this teacher has anything to say, you can communicate with me. Please don't harass our students. Looking at the figures of Teacher Yan and Zhang Yu leaving, Han Xingye shrugged his shoulders and thought to himself, if he is really sober enough, he should choose this side. Even if he still can't get into the top 10. Did you see it? 4th place. Zhang Yu actually got the 4th place in total score. Do you know what the 4th place is? Just tell me how much money you plan to invest. Listening to the sound coming from Bai Zhenzhen's side, Mo Tianyi said helplessly, Zhenzhen, you don't have to be so excited, I can see it. Bai Zhenzhen, then why don't you hurry up and pay the money? Your boss wasn't this good when he was in the first year of high school, right? Mo Tianyi, the boss, also won a place in the competition. After some polling, Mo Tianyi concluded Zhang Yu's results are indeed very excellent. I admit that I gave you less money before. I will tell the boss and the other seniors about the situation and try my best to win more investment for you. Bai Zhenzhen already knew about this and urged remember to approve the money quickly. After disconnecting, Mo Tianyi looked at Zhang Yu's 4th place ranking in the camera, and his chest, which should have cooled down long ago, seemed to be slightly hot. He did a really good job. He was able to break through the suppression of so many rich people and rush to this ranking. Unfortunately, it's too late. A trace of helplessness and sadness flashed in Mo Tianyi's heart. If it had been 2 years earlier, I would have definitely chosen you. On the other side, Bai Zhenzhen thought to herself, he won a place in the martial arts competition. I want to see who you are. Thank you Frank Chiao for giving Zhang Yu's character the 10,000 reward Oscar trophy gift. Zhang Yu looked at his phone, which was displaying an electronic agreement. The content of the agreement was simple: to grant the top 10 winners of this magic competition the right to use the limitless cloud hand technique, without any dissemination or profiting from its content. Bai Zhenzhen stood beside Zhang Yu, tilting her head as she looked at the agreement, complaining, they're so stingy. How can such a big company like Xiong Group be so cheap with their sponsorship? Only the top 10 overall get usage rights. Isn't that just giving it to everyone? Zhang Yu shook his head dismissively. If they gave it to everyone, wouldn't that be unfair to the students who did well in the competition? In my opinion, even giving it to 10 people is too much. I feel like anyone ranked lower than 4th place overall didn't really understand the exam questions. Bai Zhenzhen glanced sideways at Zhang Yu. You little. Listen to that. Unfair to the students who did well? Anyone after 4th place didn't understand the exam questions? Is that human language? Zhang Yu, have you forgotten how you criticized the modern immortal education system a month ago? Where's your integrity now? Bai Zhenzhen looked at Zhang Yu's ugly face with disappointment. My Yu is dead. All that's standing in front of me is a walking corpse controlled by grades. Haha, Zhenzhen, the prize money is here. Zhang Yu looked at the notification on his phone, feeling like his smile was wider than an AK-47. The 4th place prize in this magic competition was a full 20,000 yuan in cash, which suddenly increased his savings to over 63,000 yuan. Zhang Yu patted Bai Zhenzhen's shoulder and waved his hand magnanimously. Zhenzhen, I'll treat you to dinner when we get back to school later. Good boy. Bai Zhenzhen said happily, I knew you were a good person at heart and wouldn't forget your roots. Before long, the various schools began to disperse. Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenzhen followed the rest of Songyang High School out of the venue. Just then, a black shadow fell from the roof of the stadium. That's Zhang Yu's eyes moved. Is that a person? Someone fell? Just as Zhang Yu reacted, someone on the scene had already taken action. Actually, on a normal day, this jumper might have splattered on the ground with a splat. But at this moment, there were too many high school students, teachers, coaches, referees, and judges present. Especially since many of them belonged to Red Pagoda High School. So-called protecting the campus environment is everyone's responsibility. The moment the figure fell from above, several bursts of astral energy arrived like cushions, saving the jumper. Liang Qin, who had closed his eyes and was waiting for death, didn't experience the imagined pain. Instead, he felt like he had landed on an incredibly warm bed. When he opened his eyes, he found himself gently carried to the ground by a cloud of astral energy. Why did you save me? Liang Qin looked at the scene in pain, without the slightest joy of being saved. While watching the magic competition just now, he had repeatedly placed bets, and finally, lost all his money again. Even his father had called to ask about the debt collection, so, as a gambling addict, he had made that choice. The teacher who saved him also didn't show any joy on his face, only saying in a serious tone, jumping is prohibited on school grounds. I've already called the police about your situation. A specialist will discuss the specific compensation matters with you. Hearing this, a trace of despair flashed in Liang Qin's eyes, and he quickly argued, I didn't want to jump. I just slipped. The other party said calmly, slipped? So, it was accidental jumping. That still costs money. Liang Qin was angry, but recalling the other party's astral energy just now, he could only suppress his anger. When I find a chance, I'll jump somewhere else. After calming down, Liang Qin began to think about the next jumping spot. Schools, hospitals, shopping malls, residential areas, all of them cost money. In this damn world, it's hard to even find a place to jump for free. On the other side, Songyang High School was almost out of the campus. Not only other students, but even Zhang Yu wasn't so surprised to see someone jumping anymore. He just felt that the person wrapped in a cloud of astral energy looked a little familiar. Songyang High School cafeteria. Bai Zhenzhen put a chicken leg in her mouth and swallowed it, bones and all, with a series of crunching sounds. In front of her, there was a large table of chicken, duck, fish, and meat, costing Zhang Yu over 400 yuan. Even with Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenzhen's current cultivation and physical strength, it was enough for a satisfying meal. Ah, the school's pre-made food tastes just right. You can smell the freshness of being taken out of the freezer not long ago. Bai Zhenzhen took a bite and sighed. The bento boxes from Red Pagoda High School just don't taste right. Who knows how many synthetic ingredients they add. Although Zhang Yu was also eating heartily, he had more memories of gourmet food from his previous life. Hearing this, he said, Zhenzhen, I'll treat you to something better when I have money in the future. Bai Zhenzhen, you mean the food supplement meals on the second floor? Zhang Yu understood that for Songyang High School no, for most high school students in Songyang City, better food meant food that could increase cultivation and improve grades. As for the pursuit of taste itself, that was secondary, or rather, most high school students in Songyang City didn't have the conditions to pursue it. For high school students, taste was a luxury. Zhang Yu didn't explain, only saying, "You'll know when I have money." As he spoke, Zhang Yu remembered what happened at the competition today, and asked curiously, "Zhenzhen, how did you comprehend that set of punches you used in the last match?" Bai Zhenzhen said casually, "Didn't the exercise chart have 6 moves?" Zhang Yu was shocked, "Did it?" "Yeah." Bai Zhenzhen recalled and thought, "Isn't it obvious at a glance?" "Is she awakened?" Zhang Yu looked at Zhenzhen in front of him, still unable to understand how she could see it at a glance. It seems that even students ranked 100 in the competition have their merits. After Bai Zhenjin finished speaking, she said with a face full of unwillingness, "I was forced to do it. That's why I tried to see if I could use external martial arts moves to assist the mana circulation method. It still doesn't work." Thinking of her frustrating experience in the magic competition today, Bai Zhenjin made up her mind to improve her mana control. Looking up at Zhang Yu in front of her, and thinking of how Zhang Yu had shown in the competition today, she suddenly felt even worse. "I'm going to take tutoring lessons starting tomorrow. I, Bai Zhenjin, will never be weaker than anyone." Bai Zhenjin asked, "Are you going to teacher Yan's tutoring lessons?" Before they parted today, teacher Yan had approached Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin, telling them that he would apply to the school for some funding to open a magic competition tutoring class, taking advantage of their competition results, and asking them to sign up when the time came. Hearing this, Zhang Yu nodded and said, "Of course I'll participate." Although he had achieved a good result of 4th place in today's competition, it also made Zhang Yu feel his limitations. If it hadn't been for learning the limitless cloud hand from Bai Zhenjin at the last moment, he probably wouldn't have been able to get into the top 10 overall. He hoped that he could become stronger in mana control, so that he would never have to rely on luck to win again in future magic competitions. Moreover, with the school investing funds, teacher Yan's competition tutoring might also include benefits, such as flying swords and cultivation methods, which made Zhang Yu look forward to it. Seeing Zhang Yu nod, Bai Zhenjin's mouth also curved up. "Okay, then we'll go to Old Yan for tutoring together." After returning home, Zhang Yu didn't cultivate the Desolate Ox Soul, Calming Heart Sutra to improve his Tao heart, as he usually did. After all, his feather book specialization had switched to the Limitless Cloud Hand martial art. So, he simply took this opportunity to continue pushing the level of this Limitless Cloud Hand. He thought that the Limitless Cloud Hand only had 6 moves back and forth, so maybe it would level up faster than Freehand, maybe even 10 levels in one night. So, Zhang Yu came to the unfinished building again. Coming here, Zhang Yu felt like he had returned home. After all, he had spent night after night practicing martial arts here. It was quiet here, and he wasn't afraid of making noise, so he could let go and practice. If it wasn't for the rent at home already being paid, plus the fact that this unfinished building had no internet, no electricity, and no water, he would have moved a bed over and lived in this free place. Walking into a bare, dusty hall. With a thought, strands of mana rose from Zhang Yu's dantian, passing through 7 layers of vibration and transforming into clouds of mist emerging from his palms. Because he had already cultivated the Limitless Cloud Hand to level 1, his speed and quality of converting mana into martial arts astral energy far exceeded any contestant in today's competition. Feeling the cloud of mist enveloping his hands, Zhang Yu thought to himself, "Formless cloud vigor." After signing the electronic agreement, Zhang Yu obtained the right to use the Limitless Cloud Hand, as well as the electronic manual. The true name of this martial arts astral energy was also written in the manual. Formless cloud vigor, shaped like white clouds, can be both firm and soft and is best at drawing and borrowing strength. It is a martial arts astral energy that is widely used in combat and can be used for both offense and defense. Next, Zhang Yu began to practice the 6 external martial arts moves of the Limitless Cloud Hand. He punched forward, and the white formless cloud vigor brought a surge of power, like a siege hammer, making a whistling sound. This was the forceful move of the Limitless Cloud Hand, specially used to break through enemies head-on. Next, Zhang Yu moved his hands, and the white formless cloud vigor surrounded his body like layers of clouds, with a soft elasticity. This was the defensive move in the Limitless Cloud Hand. At this moment, the elastic formless cloud vigor could not only deflect the force of the opponent's moves, but even bounce back some of the power. In this way, Xiong Yu completed the 6 moves of the limitless cloud hand in a moment, and then practiced them again. The limitless cloud hand had too few moves, only 6, and Xiong Yu finished practicing them 10 times, in just over 10 minutes. Limitless cloud hand level 1 level 2. As the limitless cloud hand was upgraded to level 2, Xiong Yu seemed to have experienced practice again and again in an instant. Whether it was the process of mana refining the formless cloud vigor, or the manipulation of the formless cloud vigor, or even the application of the 6 external moves, all of them gained great progress in an instant. Xiong Yu looked at his hands. Originally, the formless cloud vigor enveloping his hands would have strands of white smoke like astral energy rising upwards, like with smoke rushing straight into the sky, which was also the appearance he showed in the competition. But at this moment, as the limitless cloud hand was upgraded to level 2, the strands of astral energy rising upwards were much less, which reflected his increased control over this astral energy. That's it for today's chapter. Don't forget to like and follow so you won't miss the next update. Thank you all for listening.